So today on the podcast, we're going to see if the things that we've often talked about with couples actually extend internationally. And we have our first international podcast today with a great couple that started in the U.S. and in Spain and came together and now have one of the greatest law firms in the country of Spain. We're going to hear their story on the Pollinator podcast.
So Adriana, Manuel, thank you so much for being on our podcast. Adriana, we had a chance to meet through Miss Esquire. And so I'm excited to hear about the law firm that you two have and how you have navigated being married and running an international law firm on top of that. So first of all, just tell us a little bit about your law firm.
First of all, thank you for having us. It's we've been wanting to do this and looking forward to this podcast for a little bit now. We opened the law firm 10 years ago this year. This year, we have been recognized as one of the top 1% best law firms in Spain. So we're very, very happy and very proud of that achievement. Basically, the law firm was born out of the need that I had when I moved to Spain to be able to navigate the system, invest, create my own company, pay my taxes here. And I thought it was going to be easy for me being an American lawyer and speaking the language and getting my law degree here. But Spanish bureaucracy's reputation is true. It's very difficult. It's very hard to navigate when you come from an Anglo-Saxon mindset. So part of the reason why our law firm is so successful because I'm able to understand the American system, but having Manuel as my partner and getting a law degree here allows me to efficiently accompany persons who are willing to establish themselves or their companies here in Spain.
Awesome. And Adriana, where were you in the U.S. before you moved to Spain?
I was first in New York and then in Florida.
Where is the firm actually at? What part of Spain are you in?
We're in Barcelona, Madrid, and Malaga.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice. And what type of law did you practice in the U.S. before you moved to Spain?
Do you really have to answer that? Insurance defense.
Oh.
Yeah. You see? At some point, I realized that I was kind of putting my legal talents in motion for a cause that I didn't believe in, and that bothered me a lot.
I've heard that heard that story many times from folks. typically they're escaping into just doing the PI side of things, but you've kind of had multiple levels of escape from that. And now, so did you know each other before you moved to Spain, or how did y'all meet?
No, and I'll let you tell that story.
Hello, thank you for inviting us to that podcast. Adriana was in Miami, and I was in Barcelona. She was in law school in Miami, and I was in law school in Spain. And both was part of GCI. It's an organization that is international organization of entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. And when you travel to the place, you call the organization of that place, and then you meet with them. And she was the president of Miami, and I was the president of Barcelona, of our chapters. And she comes to Spain one Monday, and we meet this week.
The Friday of that same week.
So you met through college or through law school because of this organization. Now, when you first met, did you know, love at first sight, or was this you built a friendship and then it kind of evolved? Because you guys are in two different countries, so how did that work?
And it was prior to, or Facebook was just starting. It was 2012, 2000. Yeah, Facebook started in 2008, but it was just starting to gain popularity.
It was still something for those. Well, I guess you were in college, so college kid. But
and we were just able to see like pictures of each other, but like those bad pictures of cameras of 2009. But I don't know if we both knew right away, but the persons around them knew. Well, since it was a chapter meeting, when we started, dating officially, and the persons around us knew, they said, yeah, it was going to happen. After the chapter meeting, we were supposed to go as a group to the theater. And I guess they spoke among themselves, and they made it seem that there weren't enough tickets available for the two of us. And
they set you up.
Yeah.
Oh.
They suggested that we went for dinner. So he took me to dinner, and then we have one of those movie moments in which, like, when you realize it, they're cleaning up the restaurant, and and hours passed, and we were just engaged in conversation. And it just happened. And I like electronic dance music a lot. And at that time, Barcelona had the best club in the world for electronic dance music, which was Opium.
Oh, okay.
When we were finishing dinner, he said, I'm going to Opium with some friends. Do you want to join? Of course, I want to go to Opium. So not only I met him in a professional environment, we went to dinner, and then we went partying, and then I met all his friends that same day too. So it was like a whole, I met the whole.
You got a lot of bang for the buck out of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
so that's that should be turn into a TV movie at least.
Oh my God. So did y'all end up doing like a long distance dating or?
Yes.
For a little bit. I have to confess that at the beginning, and Manuel knows this, part of the reason why I moved from the States, it was very difficult for me to have a relationship in the US during college. But by the time I decided to come and get my law degree here, I had already given up on and as a little girl, I always told that I was going to be single, like a single business person. So marriage was not in my plans. And when I moved here when I was 29, I had already given up. I mean, now it starts like my single adult life, the one that I was always dreaming of when I was a little girl. So the relationship for me, since I was only here for a year, that first time, or 6 months, we had a fantastic time, and we saw each other a lot during those 6 months. But I thought it was going to be a passing thing, those 6 months, and then I go back to the US, and then it's done. But then he came to visit me to Miami several times during that year, and I was already making the decision of just leaving the US permanently. So the fact that he was coming to see me a lot actually influenced that decision a lot.
Well done, Manuel. Well done.
Oh my God.
So Adriana, you started law school in the US, and then part of that was like foreign exchange.
No,
doing part of it, or
no? I was very lucky. That doesn't exist anymore because of regulations here in the EU. The dean of my law school, I went to Nova Southeastern in Fort Lauderdale for this reason. He had dual degree programs, agreements with the University of Prague in the Czech Republic, of Roma, and the University of Barcelona. Not many, because not a lot of people took advantage of this program. In our second year of law school, instead of taking electives throughout the career, we will come to whichever university.
Yeah.
Had all the classes here that will count as your electives in the US.
Nice.
You passed all those classes, then after finishing law school in the US, you had the possibility of being invited by the university in Europe to come and finish the law program here. So if you finished the whole program, you graduated with both a law school degree in the US and in the European country of your choosing.
Oh, wow.
And so do they still refer to it as a Juris Doctor in the EU?
Here it's called abogado. So it's a law degree. It's not because
Licenciatura, I don't know it.
yeah, because here the law academic career is not a postgraduate program, but it's a 5-year program that you do right after high school.
Oh, interesting.
It's 3 years plus 2 of masters. It's or 4
Yeah.
years. I don't know. They changed a lot in this, and it's 4 years plus 2 of masters.
But it's not you have to go to law school for 5 or 6 years and then you get your law degree. It's not like in the US that you do whichever college major and then go to law.
I'm not too familiar with the rest of Europe, but I know in like England, it's still separated as like solicitors and barristers. And is that how it is in Spain as well? Or
The system in England is much similar to the US than to Spain.
okay.
In Europe, there is the Anglo-Saxon tradition of England and Scotland and the Latin tradition. And in countries like Spain, Portugal, Italy, they are based on the Roman codes in Latin law, in civil law.
Okay.
The main differentiator there is that Anglo-Saxon law is based on precedent, while civil law is based on codes.
Gotcha.
It's law is the basis of everything in a society. So since the culture isn't different, the laws and the way the law functions is also very, very different. And I feel very privileged to understand both systems.
So now when you moved to Spain, did you have your own firm or did you do something different or did you two immediately start this firm together?
Manuel went to architecture school prior to going to law school.
Okay.
Because his family, by tradition, they're all architects, and is a profession that, particularly here in Barcelona, is very reputable. It's almost, or even more, reputable than being a doctor or a lawyer, because architecture is so important. That is the most reputable profession here, and in his family,
Yes, now probably there are like 100 architects now in my family. My father, my 2 sisters, the grandfathers, and etc. It's and a lot of cousins are architects.
So it was kind of like those families that first be an architect and then, be a rock star if you want to, but then you have to be an architect first in order to sit at the dinner table.
Yes, you
Just have a conversation. So did your law degree help like bring a different perspective to that and working with building codes and however that system may work out? Oh.
Yes, and helps a lot for when we help people to come here and invest, because they understand a lot of the urbanism and architecture, and then it's easy to help people to invest here and buy buildings or buy houses or just invest in real estate.
Most of our clients start their journey with investing in real estate here in Europe.
Right.
Care of advising them, and his background in architecture gives him a great advantage on that. And not only his background, but his connections in the architecture world here in the country. So he was finishing law school right after architecture school. I had the goal to open my own law firm by 30. So that happened while I was here. I was working for a company here in Spain. I told him, you're finishing up, and I'm going to do this. So should I do this solo or do you want to be my partner in this? And to my surprise that I actually, and now thinking back, I shouldn't have been surprised because all his family are entrepreneurs. For me, it was a big step because all my relatives are employees. I mean, they have positions and, they grew in their respective careers, but I don't come from a family of persons who create their own business, and I don't have any lawyers in my family. So I have to get over a lot of fears to open my own law firm. But I had this goal. I don't know why, but I had this goal. He immediately said yes, actually, against his family's advice. Yeah, and he... at the end of the law career here, you have to intern in a law firm under the supervision of a licensed lawyer in order to get your law degree. So I was his supervisor.
Yes.
If the dean signs off on it, then
It's now published in a podcast.
Yeah.
And he got,
I make a really good coffees.
yeah. He turned to be the managing partner. I mean, he passed, he started as the intern, and then his next position was managing partner of the law firm. So yeah, he says that because I used to bother him to go get me coffees and all that, as he was doing his internship in his own law firm.
Oh my gosh.
you're the title of intern comes with certain responsibilities. Well, I imagine the coffee is a little better than what you get in the States anyway.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
But it's different. It's different.
But yeah, it's a different coffee culture too. I mean, once I was used to 5 or 6 American coffees to go through my day. And the first time I went to a Spanish bar and ordered a coffee, I got an espresso this size. And I'm like, where is the rest of my coffee? What are you serving me? But yeah, even in that, the culture is very different. Coffee here is a different thing. When I first came here and ordered for a coffee to go, they told me, what? Like,
what are you talking about? And it's not like Miami. You get a little cup, and then they give you the tiny little cups. And
The little cafecito
cup.
Yeah.
Exactly, the Cuban one, which is a different one too. I mean, now you can find it, and Starbucks got here.
Yeah.
So now there's a culture of coffee to go. But when I first got here, that didn't exist.
Just go to a cafeteria and
go. I mean, spend 15 minutes, even if it's just 15 minutes, but you go and have a coffee.
You sit and enjoy the experience. And do you find that kind of the pace in Spain, is it a little more relaxed or slower versus the grind culture of the US?
Yeah, most definitely. And particularly for somebody like me who was educated on that grind culture and that your worth is directly related to how much you produce. Being here has been very, very, very beneficial for me. Without trying to offend anybody, because that's of course not the purpose. I found that the better I take care of myself, the better I take care of my clients, and the better my company works. And taking care of myself means understanding that resting is not a luxury but a necessity. That having good meals guarantees that I have good health. And in order to be able to bring that into your life as a company owner requires that I have strong boundaries on what is work time and what is personal time. And people take pride in the US. We just came back, as you know. Mm-hmm. They work 24/7, and in saying that, and they leave their children's birthday parties to go to a closing on Sundays. And I understand that's the culture because I live there. But now that sounds like I understand it because I was part of that culture, but I feel so very grateful that here other things are just as valuable as your professional development.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. When I was much younger, my dad was in the military, so we lived overseas. We lived in Japan for a little bit, and we lived in Germany. And I still remember in the little town that we lived in Germany, every Sunday, everything shut down. You didn't do chores, you didn't make noise. It was a very intentional day of rest. Mm-hmm. And that's just not something that we try to instill it in our own home, but it's not common around us. So I love that. You said one of the things that your practice does is help people with the immigration who are trying to come over into Spain. Is that something that attracts maybe U.S. people to Spain? Is that different culture, or what do you find brings people over there?
We hesitate in identifying ourselves as an immigration law firm. We do corporate immigration, meaning we help investors make the move. All our clients, there is a common denominator, is that they have already made enough money and they have already enough achievements to feel that they deserve taking it a little easier. And many of them are in their productive ages. It's not like we also have retirees, but many of them are just a little bit older than us or just contemporary with us. And what attracts them of Spain is to have a better quality of life.
Yes.
Interesting.
Starts thinking to come 3 months, 4 months, and then stay forever. It's
Really?
Yeah, they start investing just to have a little leg here, and then they start using the property for personal use. Then the stays become longer and longer. Then they decide to make the permanent move, and then they end up renouncing their American nationality for tax purposes.
Yeah.
That's the natural cycle of our clients.
So what's the average, and because I just have no frame of reference for this, like what is like the average, I guess, investment that someone's making? Are they buying like a personal property and they're like renting it out, or what does that typically look like?
Yeah, is what is considered in Spanish terms a high net worth individual, and that means a person that has the capacity to invest at least €500,000 in Spain. So we serve high net worth individuals, but not super. I mean, also, but not they're not required to be super high net worth individuals, and that's where we make the line. If you have €500,000 or more to invest, then we're able to provide you with the kind of services that we offer, and has also become something very rewarding on a personal level, because we have seen how much the lives of these persons and these families actually have improved. We end up becoming personal friends of all our clients, but after the cycle, after they have already,
after they're satisfied with your services.
Exactly.
They're already grateful to come here, and they always, it always starts with a dinner invitation, and then it becomes a friendship.
Oh wow!
So to go back, and Manuel, I have more questions for you too. But Adriana, you're really kind of three different nationalities and experience. But when did you move from Colombia to the U.S.?
Right after high school, when I was 18.
Okay, so really the U.S. was just kind of the shortest period that you lived in any place then?
Spain continues to be the shortest, but it was very formative years. It was college and law school and starting to practice. I'm a U.S. adult. I'm not functional as a Colombian adult. I don't know how to open a bank account. I mean, I identify, of course, myself with my Colombian nationality, and my whole family is there. But I don't know how to pay taxes in Colombia, or how to open a bank account, or how to open a company in Colombia. I'm a U.S. adult, and I feel very much at home in the U.S.
Okay.
And working with clients.
Yeah. I've been here now more than a decade, and I still share the frustration with my American clients about the Spanish system. Let's put it that way.
Well, what are some of those frustrations?
Times, reliability, inconsistency. Depending on who is the person who takes care of an application, the criteria of approval can be completely different from one person to the other. So it becomes essential for a person to be represented, because we go to these offices that are required to achieve our clients' needs consistently. So since they already know that we are the lawyers, then how can we say this?
There's kind of a relationship there, right? Like they know they're going to see you over and over and over, and if they do a bad job, it's not just one and done, and that person's never coming back. They're going to have to deal with you next time.
Which is a very common answer here when you try to do anything with the administration. oh no, this is not being done today. Come back tomorrow.
Oh.
Yes, it's very normal here, but in a bank and with administration,
with the government administration, yeah.
I would say everything comes with trade-offs. You get a little slower pace of life for personal life, but maybe a few frustrations on the professional side.
That's what we're here for. I mean, we are the law firm and the lawyers because we take care of the communication with our clients personally. That's where we spend most of our time. We have a team that assists us, but one of the biggest frustrations of investors that go to a foreign country is that they have to coordinate a myriad of professionals in order to get anything accomplished. So we do that coordination for them, and we already have the teams assembled that may supply their every need. But I communicate with all my American clients personally. And if so, they call, I'm the one who answers the call. And if they have a video call, it's with me. And I'm the one coordinating the team behind, but I'm the one who sends the emails. So that eliminates a lot of that frustration. And they don't get frustrated with me because I know how to manage them.
Nice.
So Manuel, you're coming now out of law school, and Adriana already kind of referenced your family's hesitation, but what was it like really for you to kind of make that decision? You've got this. Were y'all married when you went to work? So you weren't even married yet. So she just started her firm, and you signed up for the internship, and then we're going to go working there. So. I mean, that had to. I can maybe understand some of your family's hesitation, but what gave you the confidence to make that choice?
During all my life, I always wanted to be entrepreneur, and for that reason, for me, it was really easy to say yes because when I was studying law school, I always saying that at the end I would to open my firm. Then when Adriana asked me if that was a good moment, I said yes because it was perfect time and was easy to say yes.
And now they see that it was the right decision.
Yes, sure. I'm really happy to.
But he's asking about them.
Oh yeah, yes. So yes. They are. Sorry, they are also really happy for firm and for us.
They're big cheerleaders of us. And
Yes.
when they see they're avid newspaper readers. So when they see an article that may affect our law firm, or they send it to both of us. So yeah, they're very supportive of us, and they see that we did it.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you were dating, but you weren't married when you started the firm and came on board. How much longer did that take until you got married?
So some years, but most years because was in the middle of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
English?
The pandemic.
Yes, because we first we tried to marry it just the day that starts the pandemic.
Our original marriage date was May 2020. We were starting to get ready to do the final arrangements for our wedding, and then we were confined. So we had already a full wedding set up, and we had to pause it. So when we paused it for 2 years.
Yes.
2 years, yeah, because
Yes,
we ended up marrying.
We first make a small wedding here in Spain. Then was the wedding in Colombia that was stopped for the pandemic, and then 2 years later we married.
Because we've been married for 5 years, right?
Yes, 20. Yeah. Dates. The first one in Spain, then one in Colombia, like in the jungle, and then other one in a church with
the bishop.
With the bishop, and then it's 3 dates, and
the last one is 2022.
Yes.
So that's 3 years. And
but the first one is in 2019. No,
2020.
No, because it was December or November.
That, that's a lot of anniversaries to have to keep, keep track of, Adriana.
But the one that's here, we put the date. I think it's.
Well, I was about to say Shannon put the date on inside my ring as well to help me. Okay, so you were legally married in 2020, but you didn't have all of your wedding and ceremonies and everything done until 2022.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a lot of dates to try to remember.
So were there? How did working together for those couple of years before you actually got married, did that factor into your decision, or what was your relationship like working together and then also kind of dating? I'm sure you had the intention of maybe getting married, or I don't know, maybe.
No, at the time that we opened the firm, I was sure that we were married.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
She's like, I don't think I knew that.
Yes, and we started there, but what was the Camino was
in 2016, then at the end of 2015, you already knew you were going to marry me?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes, when we start with your business and that, it's like open a business together. It's a compromise. It's like it's more than a marriage.
Yeah, it's a more. I think it's a more serious relationship. I mean, of course, when we decided to get married, we did it consciously and very seriously. And as I was telling you, since getting married was not part of my life plans, I had to do a lot of self-reflection to see if I really wanted to do it. The law firm is kind of like a stronger, but I don't know. I don't want to say stronger, but it's a more serious commitment. I don't know.
No.
It's not a stronger commitment. It's I don't know. It keeps us in. I mean, God forbid something bad happened with us as a couple. I think the law firm will continue. Yeah, I don't know how to say that, but it's not like I don't take the marriage seriously, but it's kind of our legacy.
Yeah. So how big is the firm? How big is the team that y'all have built?
Okay, we have with us. There's 15 of us, but we have a lot of liaison offices. We have liaison offices in Portugal, New York, in help me here.
Miami.
In Bogota, in Miami, in Panama. Am I missing any?
Yes.
But we get the idea. Is that kind of like what they call like an of counsel relationship? Like it's a law firm that's there and you'll have that partnership? Okay.
It will be kind of like that. But again, we are the ones providing the service and communicating with our clients. So even though we have entered into those collaboration agreements with those lawyers in those respective jurisdictions, our clients always receive the service from us and under our umbrella. Now
the firm was 2015 it got started. So the firm's been going for 10 years now. And it's the relationships kind of grown into that. But how do you see kind of the not work-life balance, but how does work and the marriage and personal life, like how do y'all navigate that?
It's easy, but it's not for all the people to work with your partners. It's important to put some rules. This is more for Adriana than for me, because I guess because we make different times. I get up really early. We try to don't talk about business in some times. We start like at 10 to talk about business. We try to don't talk with business when we go to dinner or etc. We have 2 WhatsApps, one for business and one for our things.
Yeah, there's a different tone. Like in business, we speak business. I mean, it's not like a cordial, my love or my sweetheart tone. It's a partner and partner.
We also try to, we are partners and we work in the same firm, but we always try to make different cases. So Adriana has the clients. I have my other clients. And for example, Adriana works more with clients from the States, and I work more with the clients from Latin America, Mexico and Colombia, etc.
The mindset is closer. His Latin mindset is closer to the clients of Latin America. And even though I am Colombian and a Latin American person, as I was saying, for work, I deal with all the American clients. And that's the reason why our schedules are different, because I usually have to stay up later at night, and he's a morning person, which works very well for him.
Yes.
And so when we wake up at home in the morning and he's already responding emails or, in business mode, I'm just waking up. So that was like a very strict rule. Like, the first, I open the door for business talk. So he makes me my coffee still. And then
that's also my job.
Yeah.
And
I want to say something, and she see me that I want to say something of business, but not.
No, I mean, I have to be ready, to start the workday.
But then at night it's different. When because I'm a morning guy, and then at night I put the stop first to talk about business. Say when I'm finished, I'm finished, and I try to not to disconnect, and she probably stay 2 hours more or normally at that time I'm
You're done.
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now he's later.
So I'm curious as how, because it sounds like you guys have created some really good structures and boundaries in place professionally. But since as running the firm together, there's obviously a decision-making process. How are those decisions made? And what if there is not an agreement on a direction? How do y'all work through that?
Okay, we have, I call them board meetings, but it's the two of us, on Mondays. We usually have them on Sunday afternoon too. And, those can be in the couch or in pajamas, but we reserve a time to have these board meetings.
Yes.
And at that time is when we make decisions that involve the law firm as a whole. Bringing in a new person, marketing decisions, budget in some time, traveling times. Those are the top that involve them both of us, and that we both need to make agreements on. But
and the cases. So we make meetings every week, and then we make a meeting
a trimester. Yeah.
That it's more for long term. The strategy of our business.
And we also have our yearly retreat. We every year we take a trip, even if it's to a city close by. But it's not a regular trip, a couple's trip for us. It's a trip that we use to envision the firm in the next 1, 3, or 5 years, and goals for ourselves. Now, to get to your question about disagreements, is there something that we have fundamentally disagreed on the firm? No. We basically, we're very aligned business-wise, I mean, in certain things, we both make our cases. I take care of the marketing and of promoting the firm. So sometimes budgeting issues are a thing. So I have to argue why we need to invest this much in marketing. But apart from that,
it's really easy.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. And the division of work has also come very organically. We thought at the beginning when we started having Latin American clients that it was going to be easier for me to deal with them. Then it would happen to realize that a male presence with a Spanish accent from Spain created more authority. So, we navigated and then we see what works best.
Well, I was going to ask if it ever comes as a surprise to some of your clients from Latin America that it is Manuel rather than Adriana, since you're Latin American.
Sometimes we ask the clients, or we always try when a client brought us we always try to stay both in the email. And when the clients start to speak more with Adriana and say, hello, Adriana, we see that they want to work with Adriana.
We're always CC'd on all the emails of the firm. Since we do the communication with clients ourselves, we paid a lot of attention to whom the client is addressing the email to. To go to your specific question, clients for Latin America, which is a little hurtful for me, but just a little, they prefer to speak to Manuel. We all have these biases. It creates more authority for them than a Latin American woman.
So we lived in Miami for 13 years before we moved to Orlando. And if he talked to a Latin American man versus if I had the conversation, it was very different about as far as like the outcomes and like, so yes, I picked up on those nuances quite quickly.
I also make better arguments, but
I know.
in certain contexts.
No comment.
We travel a lot every 3 months to Colombia and every 3 months to Miami.
And we have realized that we are a brand, but together. When we travel, people, when we're together, they recognize us, but when we're on our own, they kind of don't, or they have to like, are you the one that is with him, or are you the one that is with her? And then they make the connection. So yeah, that is nice. That we, for some reason, people always associate us as a unit.
And so, as far as the marriage go, did growing up in the U.S. or your adult life in the U.S. and kind of some of those frustrations, has that caused any kind of not necessarily conflict, but in any kind of difficulty in kind of forming the firm or creating, or just kind of those, I don't know, different views or expectations coming?
Well, I know what you're trying to say. And yeah, I'm very strict with deadlines. And well, he's a Spaniard. So, I mean, it has to work out to be a balance because, and this was actually an assistant that made me realize this. I was getting very stressed out about self-imposed deadlines that didn't have actual repercussions on the client's cases if they were done today or tomorrow. I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it is kind of ridiculous to get super stressed out about not meeting a deadline that you have created yourself when it doesn't matter if you do it today at 3 or tomorrow at 8 in the morning. So it's been kind of like a mutual education of because our clients appreciate a lot how timely we are. And I think that is one of the key differentiating factors of our law firm in Spain. There are many law firms that serve clients from abroad, but they go on their times. And, we all love to take a 2-hour lunch break and to leave at 2 p.m. on Fridays. But if you're working with a client who's anxious, who's overseas, who has probably never seen you or, that met you online, timely responses are important to create this trust and mutual bond. So I don't have an issue doing that because I'm used to the grind as in the US. But he sometimes tells me, it's 9 p.m., let's go have dinner. You haven't had lunch. So it has actually worked for our mutual benefit. I mean, it's a little more discipline on his part and a little more relaxation on my part. And that is something that we both mutually needed.
Well, that's something we like to say and have talked about that ultimately, marriage is a vehicle for self-improvement, right? And becoming the better version of yourself. And hopefully you end up with somebody that helps you to do that.
Yeah.
And your company too is a vehicle for self-improvement. I'm a great believer on that. I mean, not coming from an entrepreneurial background, having a company made me realize how much my time is worth, how much how important is my well-being, how if I'm okay, then all my environment is okay, then my collaborators are okay too. Being the founder of a company has also been a great vehicle for personal growth.
Oh, I can agree to that. I can relate with what you're saying because I also did not really grow up with like in the entrepreneurial space. Like my whole family all, were employees. There was never even my thought process to be an entrepreneur, like at all. And so after we were married and then he pivoted from being an educator, like in the public school system to like starting a business, I was like, what are you doing? Like, we did not talk about this when we were talking about getting married. So, did you find that in the beginning when building your firm, because Manuel came from more of the entrepreneurial like background with the family, did you find that you were kind of leaning to him or looking to him more for guidance to help kind of navigate that process?
Most definitely. And prior to sharing with the family that Manuel was going to be part of the law firm, his family was also very instrumental to me to take a decision. Part of the reason why I love my life in Spain a lot. I only have one brother here, but Manuel has his whole family here, and I feel adopted by them in the best sense of the word. Like I feel an aunt to my nephews, which are his sister's children. I feel like my sisters-in-law are very close to me, and his cousins call me cousin too. That family support on that decision of becoming an entrepreneur, which also meant living permanently in the US. I'm going to get emotional. I remember it being in a family discussion. And I hadn't had that in all my life in the US because my whole family was in Colombia. That was a very important moment in my life to be able to count with not only himself, but all his family's support. Then we told them that he was coming in, and then
Like, wait, what? Oh, I love that. So, just to wrapping it up, something we love to ask every couple is thinking about your whole experience. Like, what advice would you give to another married couple that is thinking about taking this next step of like running and developing a business together?
Boundaries, right? As advice to another married couple that wants to create a business, establish clear boundaries as to what is work and what is your couple dynamic. Because we had differences, but since we have these dynamics so separate and so well established, our business has never suffered. And I don't mean major things, but I don't know. Part of the ways in which we divide chores at home are an important part of how we live our life, because we work from home. So, and since I wake up after he wakes up, in my mind, my house has to look a certain way so I can start working sooner or a certain time. And let's say that one day he left without making the bed. So I can be mad at him for not making the bed that morning, but that has nothing to do on how our work dynamic is going to be that day. So being able to establish those differences and those boundaries is very, very important.
No, but and if you don't put some limits, you will talk all the day about business.
That's something that will happen to him. If we didn't have these schedules, he will talk work Monday day, and I mean, because we do what we do, but it's still work. So like I sometimes need to like fully disconnect, and he will be able to go and go and go and go. So yeah, see, boundaries.
Perfect. Well, just again, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking with us and sharing your experience.